Welcome back once again, friends and fans, and welcome to Wargame European Escalation, the PACT missions. We're going to go ahead and get started here with Mission 5 for the Soviets, and you will see the cutscene just after we kind of peek at some of the vehicles. Last time we were getting our butt kicked by that unit there, the MITV, so stay tuned until after the cutscene.
Special Forces and the French Force d'Action Rapide have surrounded the 6th Guards Armored Division, cutting its line of communication. The latter has no hope of help from Soviet troops in Poland, which are already engaged against the rebels' last pockets of resistance. It can't retreat, nor can it stick around to be crushed. There's only one way out of this. It must cut its way forward and link up with the CGV troops near Legion. NATO would expect that. NATO has cut our line of retreat, and now is making ready to crush us against the Czechoslovakian army. Division's orders are clear. We drive right ahead and smash away to Czechoslovakia with as many forces as we can get through. Anything we couldn't evacuate will be destroyed. The area will soon be under full NATO control. We won't leave them anything to salvage.
Alright, friends and fans, so let's get right into it then. Our new objective is to deploy and evacuate as many units as we can within about a half hour there. The enemy will come at you from left and right, and a very interesting tactic that I found while playing, and also mentioned by one of the friends and fans there in the previous video, is to take out the NATO command zones on either side to stop them, or at least slow them from attacking you continuously during this battle. Now keep in mind the enemy will attack right and left flanks, primarily with infantry on the right and heavy armor on the left. So you'll need scouts for both, and just keep an eye out for infantry and tanks, buying some T-80s here to go on the left and some infantry scouts to go on the right. As you also saw that I called out some helicopters as well to deal with something in a way I'll explain in just a moment. To clarify, this is Mission 5, Part 1 of it. It will run a little long due to the fact that I had a little bit of trouble knocking those NATO forces out on the left flank, as we'll call it for the time being. But anyway, if you take your Mi-24Ps over here to Constantine, you can approach just around the edge of the forest, just in that blank patch there, and right where the mouse is, right there, right under the A in Nicholas, you can fire your rockets and definitely destroy the NATO command unit there, which will knock out them getting reinforcements from Michael Nicholas over here. Which is a horrible redneck name, I guess. Michael Nicholas, you get in there. Anyway, we have the Kiowa over there doing a little bit of scouting. Shilka taking those out, and you'll hear in just a moment. Boom! Right there, the Michael Nicholas being taken out. Looks like it looks like there was a little bit of an engagement from those Kiowa, I believe is how you say those. The scout helicopter, they may have had machine guns on them and shot at some unit. I'm not exactly sure, but no big deal, because we're now setting up defenses on the right side where most of the pain and trouble will come from. And there you see some of our first NATO units now engaging the Conqueror's Bad Fur Day, which have been leveled now from 15 down to 9, opening fire on, I'm not exactly sure what unit that is, but whatever it is, they will be crushed for their insolence against the greatness of the Crimson Flag. And Conqueror's Bad Fur Day missiles having a very bad day as they miss. BMP-4s being brought in, as you can see, T-72 being brought in as well. A couple of those. Now, the great thing is that you must get as many units out of this area as you can. NATO has surrounded the Soviets, and the only thing they can do is run right in to link up with other forces and get the hell out of there. So you want to call out some of your higher level units. Whatever has experience, just call it out, because it will definitely be worth it later in the battle. And you'll want some cheaper units as well to help defend, because you'll have a limited budget. later in the game. T-55s are great to call out later here. Bradleys are very deadly as well against those T-80s, so keep an eye on those. Scimitar or Scimitar, Scout from the Brits being brought out. T-55 now getting ready to fire 2 of them at the Zalo, which is a excellent cavalry tank from the Soviets, but being held by the Czechoslovakians, who do not want us there. And, destroying one of the T-55s, that was a high-level T-55 as well, fully upgraded. That's why they were brought out. Destroying that bastard right there, destroying that higher-level T-55, but finishing him off before he could get the duo. BMPs now being brought up into the wooded area. And now, if you have any tactics that work better than mine, which I'm sure you do, since I'd only been playing this, I mean, I beat the game once, or at least this level once, and I just go in trying to do what I did the previous time, just even better. If you have any plans, if you have any ideas, please do share them. But my idea here is on the left flank to destroy the enemy's hold on what I believe was Constantine. I'm not exactly sure. We'll get that name in a second. But the left flank cannot be destroyed as easily as on the right because the enemy has much more than just one unit sitting there, much more than one command unit. Scots now being engaged. God, those damn Scots, Englishmen over there. T-34 is being brought out as well to stand up against that T-55. Units under intense fire now as those Scots and T-34s engage the motor Strelaki. The Zimich coming up to fight the T-72 and T-62s with motor Strelaki numbering 40 hiding in the tree line. Mi-8 TVs moving. Actually, a group of 246 of them now moving toward that left flank. Riflemen and Bradley, the infantry and the Bradleys now being taken down by the heavy firepower of the T-80s. Mi-8 TVs being instructed to move further to the left, and as they do, we now focus back on the other side where we do have an engagement with the Zemech, and we also have a T-80 that unfortunately was destroyed too on that left flank and center. Destroyed by the Bradley, who came up right from behind. That's where you don't want them to come from, especially against... Oh, and now another loss of a T-80. Those T-80s being cut down very well. Bringing those tanks in to do a lot of the fighting, because once you clear those NATO points, not a lot of units come at you, so this is kind of your last chance for upgrades before it comes time for the real battle, which is the final mission, which will be after this. This video will wind down halfway through it, and I will cut it to the point where once I finish the NATO forces, it's just all about however much time you have remaining, which should be about 20 or 15 minutes, to call out the rest of your units. So all you really do for the rest of the time is secure Fedor and get as many points as you can and get all the units that you can. A bonus for this mission as well is to get capture, or rather to send 75% of your remaining forces to the other end of the map. And when you have a lot like I do, it is a little bit more difficult, and you need a lot of points for it. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do that one here, but keep it in mind, and you should do fine. So motor Strelaki there being reinforced. Do a lot of reinforcing on these left and right points as you still deal with, it's Sheraton and Boris here on the left. And they will still attack on the left and right, and there will be a bonus mission halfway through this mission as well, involving a crashed helicopter on the right flank. So keep some infantry in the north, but we'll get into that in just a moment. Mi-26 is being brought out to resupply the motor Strelaki or rather the VDV, who are going to be landing in just a moment, in those Mi-28s, and ATGM Dragons being just completely obliterated by those T-80s. Very unfortunate that those T-80s were not able to, or rather were not destroyed by the ATGM, at least for the ATGM guys. Very fortunate for us, though, that those missed, and it looks like the only bad fur day for any ATGM troops today was them. We did have a miss earlier, but no big deal since it didn't fail in the attack. Bringing in artillery as well to deal with some of those command vehicles that are hiding over there on the left flank. And now here's where it kind of gets fun, in the sense that it is a little easier. You can bring out your anti-aircraft LAAD troops to hide in the woods just in case any helicopters come. And of course, anything that you call out in this battle is not a bad idea, because you later have to bring it to your evacuation point either. Now keep in mind, keep in mind, anything you don't bring, just like the briefing said, anything you don't bring to the other side, you don't get you don't get to use. So if you don't bring those supply trucks or those high-level T-55s or those awesome Mi-24s that you've been playing with the whole map and didn't lose a one, if it doesn't make it to the evacuation point, it doesn't make it to the next battle. So keep that in mind. T-72 getting ready to fire at what seems to be infantry now that is in the woods. Could also be, I don't think it's Bradley, but Czechoslovakians attack from the right flank, and Americans and British from the left. We now have that crash mission updated, and a BTR destroyed by the ATGM Dragons. Scimitar now moving in, and two of them, I believe, were destroyed by T-80s there. More Scots moving in, and T-55 firing to engage those. F.A.Q unit now moving up to help secure those motor Streliki who are up there, and once you capture those, you can use them to secure the area around there, not center, but Boris, I believe it is. Well, talk fast talker, but there's a lot going on in this map, tiring myself out. But what I do get tired of is later in this map, there is quite the difficult fight against the British and the Americans over here in Sheraton Boris. I'm not exactly sure if that's a glitch. It is saying multiple names to points like that, but keep in mind they will send helicopters from this way as well. So that's where you're going to bring your Cub in. That's where you're going to bring in your Shilkas. That's where you're going to bring in your ZPUs, I believe they are, or ZSUs, I forget exactly, and also ZSUs, and also the Strela, or the I forget the other one, the ILGA artillery. T-50, unloading on the T-55. T-62 is now being pulled out of the woods to engage that. T-55 now firing. Mission complete on capturing those survivors of that crash, and now being all brought down to secure the outside edge of Leonid. And just going to do some quick movements then here on bringing those tanks down, and also to... it's basically a street there that you want to defend all the way along the entire way. Now Gazelle HOTS being brought up. Those are great anti-tank weapons. And it also looks like Scott's being brought to the right as well. That almost got through. Well, they did get through the defenses, but definitely don't want to let them anywhere near the command vehicle, which is, I think, why I moved that command vehicle earlier in the video. Ooh, some more, Mi-24P being destroyed. Very unfortunate loss of a good unit from probably the Gazelle up there. Very unfortunate. The Mi-8 TV's not able to fire since they are rocket-based weapons. But Mi-24Vs and Mi-24Ds, and well as the A's, are still available to fight. And let's see, get those artillery firing on wherever those happen to be, wherever those command units happen to be. So continue to fire on those, and they are hidden in the left forest, the right forest, and the northernmost forest. So keep that in mind. They will continue to harass these the center point that you have secured until you deal with them. The right flank will also be attacked too, but not as much as this left, as there are more units here. But luckily we did relieve a lot of pressure at the beginning by taking care of that command unit at the right flank. So Boris here, VDV successfully destroying that command vehicle there. And looks like we have the 20mm scouts being engaged by the BMP 685. Question for this video is more of a, not a personal question, but a question if you know. I've been trying to figure this out for the last few days. Is the BMP 685, was the name of that changed? Was the name of the BMP 685 changed? Because I think it used to be Object 685. But then I think I remember there used to be something under vehicles called Object 685, and now I think it's the BMP 685. Not exactly sure. Now that's the modern day Russian BMP 4, or 3 rather. I did do a little bit of research on this. I might not be exactly right, but if you know, please comment below. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as every like, comment, and subscription is greatly appreciated and keeps me going, and it definitely helps me to be more motivated. The motivation gives me the motivation to buy some more games and show you guys some more fun. Now, games are great, but there's nothing quite like sharing it with other people. Now we have a great number of tanks coming, so we're going to bring in some more Mi-24s, some more ZSUs to deal with what's going on the left. Now I think what we'll do here is, since basically what I do, I'll give you a little bit of briefing. What I continue to do is I continue to destroy everything coming out of Boris, then I inch forward, then I destroy some more and inch forward, and eventually make it to the forest and destroy those command units, which are located all around Boris. Now, not a bad idea either. I did let the enemy survive for a while, which got those MI8s and the ZSUs. A lot of upgrades came from this. So what I'll show you next, and maybe we can even make, well, we'll make this a two-part video, but the second part will be a little shorter, just showing you the end video and everything, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But what I'll do is I'll cut it here at about 15 minutes here, and I'll see you guys after we destroy these units, yeah? Alright, friends and fans, we're back into the heat of the battle here as we have some enemy choppers moving out. We're also looking to Leonid, where I think we did lose a command vehicle, so we'll get right back into putting one back there. The final enemy command vehicle now up in the upper right-hand corner of that forest, and will now, since we've almost beaten the evil capitalists and Walmart, we will start to move units towards Ivan. So we'll now start selecting basically everything that we can afford and start tossing it right up towards Ivan, and that's definitely what you want to do once you're about complete. Or once you've almost completed securing the battlefield. So what you'll definitely want logistics, you'll definitely want infantry and support and tanks. You'll want a little bit of everything, including recon. Recon is worth its weight in gold, and definitely for this next mission, you'll want to keep an eye on what the enemy has. Keep in mind they'll attack with some really advanced tanks. They'll keep up the attack with the armor mostly, and then artillery. So it's probably good to have tanks, anti-tanks, helicopters, recon, and then to a lesser extent support, and then of course always anti-aircraft weapons. Probably some support weapons if you can get some Strela or some Igla, or just even if you can afford some a Cub or something, go ahead and get those to the battlefield. So what we'll do now is until Boris is now completely taken out there, and it looks like we have a Patton that's kind of on the outside of the battlefield, not doing anything. So what we'll do is I've selected all the units, and we'll get them going towards Ivan. At one point, some of the vehicles run out of fuel, no big deal. I'll call out logistics units to basically drive up to them, refuel them, and go right into Ivan anyway. They need to go to Ivan, but they can make a pit stop on the way, no big deal. Make sure your helicopters have fuel as well, and we'll get, as you can see, some units out to resupply those Mi-26s, heading down to supply some units as well. So once you've basically secured the battlefield, keep your command zones, and more importantly, capture Fedor over there, so that way you can bring units in. Wouldn't be a bad idea also to do the smart move and capture Boris, which I didn't do, which will bring you a little closer to Ivan. But still, they have a little bit of a way to drive. So until next time, friends and fans, remember, you need a lot